Hello everyone, my name is Marian Andrei and today we're going to talk about 5 cheapest electric cars you can buy right now in Europe. Actually, one is not a car, it's more of a vehicle. It's like it has 4 wheels though, so I counted it as a vehicle. It's very good for city use. And the first one, let's start with Renault Twizy.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Loaded.
Which can be yours for about 11,000 euros. It has about 100 kilometers range. It has a 6.1 kilowatt hour battery capacity, and it's really fast from 0 to 40 kilometers per hour. City speed, it's quite okay. It has room for 2 people, one driving and one being the passenger. I really like the Twizy because it's an urban vehicle. I think it can give us a look at the future and how vehicles running in city might look like in the end. So it's a good car if you want to use every day. It doesn't have any heater. It doesn't have. You have to pay for windows actually. It doesn't have any steering assist. It doesn't have any ABS. It has a rigid suspension because the car was developed by Renault Sport, and also it has a lower center of gravity thanks to the batteries, and it's really fun to drive. It's rear-wheel drive also.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah.
The second car on the list is the Skoda CZero E, a car that had a lot of success at the beginning. On some countries, for instance, this car cannot be configured on the Skoda website just because the demand is very high, and the demand was high before the pandemic started. In some countries, if you ordered one in January or February, you'll get your car in the next year, unfortunately. But I see why it's so popular, because it's very cheap. In Germany it's less than 21,000 euros. In Romania, for instance, where you get almost 10,000 euros subsidies, this car can be yours for 11,000 euros. So it's a crazy amount of car you get for a crazy and not so big amount of money you can pay for this car. It has a WLTP range of 260 kilometers, so it's more than enough, not just for city, but if you want to go outside of it, it's pretty fine. It's also a Skoda, so that means it's very well built. You have plenty of options available. You have automatic air conditioning, you have that cute little mobile phone trip computer where you can see how you're driving, information about driving, trips and so on. So it's a really well made car. If you don't like how the Skoda looks, you can look at the Seat Mii or Volkswagen e-up. They are the same. The CZero Electric is similarly priced to the Seat Mii, and the Volkswagen e-up is 1,000 euros more.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Another car on the list, which is like 2,000 euro more expensive than the Skoda and Seat, it's the Smart Fortwo, which also has a lower range. It has a WLTP of about 130 kilometers, less power, but it's still good looking. It's targeted in the premium segment, and it's a car also designed for city use. And of course you have to pay a little bit of money to make this smart look to look good, because otherwise in the basic trim it's very boring. Thankfully you can make this car on your own taste. You can apply different kind of trims, colors inside and outside, but you still can't get rid of the Dutch buttons everywhere. The next car on the list, it's the Citroen CZero. I'm still surprised that I can see this car available to buy. It's quite expensive. In France it's about 27,000 euros without the subsidies. and I've seen that it's the only country where you can still buy the Citroen CZero. This car is very old. It has at least 9 years of age, something like that. The battery is still the same, mostly 16 kilowatt hour capacity. Doesn't have any fast charge, and it should be good for around 100 kilometers of range. 160 kilometers is the NEDC range, the old format that was available when this car came out on the market. It's still a nice way to look at how electric cars have evolved in the past years, and you can see that this car is like a fossil among the living ones. I remember when the Mitsubishi i-MiEV, which this car is related to, design and technology, was about 38,000 euros. So this car is 11,000 euros cheaper. And I remember when I drove the i-MiEV 9 years ago and I turned on the AC, the range fell off by half. So from 100 kilometers available range, it went down to 50 kilometers of range. So yeah, I'm still shocked that this car can be bought. Now, the last car on the list is a surprise even for me. The MG brand is back. Now the electric car, it's called MG Zetas AV. So it's a car that it's been manufactured in India, China and Thailand, and it's owned, the MG brand is owned now by SAIC China, and also you can see this design on Roeve RX3. This car has a range of about 260 kilometers WLTP, a battery that it's about 45 kilowatt hour capacity, plenty of power, plenty of tech inside. It's not as well built as I've seen in the pictures like European brands, but it's still an entry level electric SUV. And if you can't afford the Kia n-Niro or Hyundai Kona electric, you can still look at this MG. I don't think it's available in all the countries in Europe, but I've seen it in Great Britain, where this brand started. It's looking okay. I've seen they've hired Benedict Cumberbatch for an ad. I've seen that you can. I've seen the app. In the ad, I see that you can see how much of range you have available and different kind of controls. So it's a refreshing car altogether. It has the air-in cup fast and so on. So this car can be yours for less than 30,000 euros. It's priced below Renault Zoe, Volkswagen ID3 or Nissan Leaf. So I think it's a nice option. I hope I see it in more European countries, at least for now, until brands like Xpeng or so on will expand in Europe. That was my list of 5 cheap electric cars you can buy right now in Europe, or at least in a part of it, and I hope I see you guys on the next video. Until then, don't forget to subscribe and like this one. Thank you very much. See you.